There are lots of things all around us, exciting things that surround us.
But how does it work?
Do you know?
How is it made?
Do you know? Things that go up, things that go down, things that go pop, things that go round with special cameras to show you inside. It's going to be a big surprise.
But how does it work?
Do you know?
How is it made?
Do you know? Do you know?
Let's find out!
Hello, I'm Maddie, and today I'm looking at transport and the different ways you can travel around. Oh look, there's a boat. I love boats. Do you? I like the way they glide about on top of the water. But do you know how a boat moves? How does it work? Let's find out. How does it work?
A boat.
Come on, we're going for a boat ride. Let's go! And we're off! This is so much fun! If you look around, you can see there are lots of different parts to a boat. That's the front, the pointy bit, and it's called the bow. And this is the back, it's called the stern. And then that is the engine. And in the middle, we have places to sit and put our things. At the bow, there is something called an anchor. Peter is lowering the anchor into the water down to the bottom of the lake, where it will hook into the ground and hold the boat in one place. But there are lots of parts of the boat you can't see. Do you know why that is? It's because they're in the water. I know. Let's use my special camera and this underwater light to see if we can get a closer look. Now you can see underneath the boat, and this is what makes it move. This is called a propeller. Here's a little toy boat. You might have one just like it to play with in the bath. And this one has propellers too. Can you see? The propeller looks a bit like a fan that goes round and round and cools you down, doesn't it? But on a real boat, the propeller is powered by an engine, and that's what makes the boat move. The engine and propeller are attached to each other. Petrol goes in the boat engine, and when it starts, it makes a big brum-brum noise. Inside, the petrol starts to burn, and as it does, it creates a powerful gas. The gas pushes a long pole called a piston backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. As the piston moves, it turns a cog at the bottom, and this cog turns another cog attached to the propeller outside the boat. As the propeller spins round and round, it pushes the boat through the water. Let's go! Look at the propeller again. You can see the blades spinning around, pushing the water away behind it and sending the boat forwards. To take a closer look at the propeller, we are using something called a winch to pull the boat in. I'm just helping pulling the boat in. And doesn't the winch sound great? Clickety-click. The propeller has 3 blades. 1, 2, 3. And it's these 3 blades that help push the boat through the water. Being on a boat is such great fun, but if you were on a boat, where would you like to go? Can you remember the name of the front of the boat? It's the pointy bit, and it's called the bow. Did you hear the winch as it pulls the boat out of the water? It went clickety-click. And did you see the propeller spinning round and round? So next time you see a boat, you'll know just how it works. But there are lots of other ways to travel too. On the water, on the ground, in the sky. What things travel up in the sky? There are aeroplanes, helicopters, and my personal favourite, the hot air balloon. This is just a toy hot air balloon. The real thing is much bigger. But do you know how a hot air balloon is made? Let's find out. How is it made?
A hot air balloon.
Hot air balloons are really big. They have a basket for people to ride in and a huge balloon which lifts the basket high into the sky. And this is where they're made. Yes, this is a hot air balloon factory. And that is a lot of material. The material is called nylon, and it arrives in the factory in big rolls. So how does all this become a balloon? First, the material needs to be cut into smaller pieces with a small round cutter. Here it is. It fits inside the machine, just here. Let's see it cut the material into smaller pieces using my special camera. With my special camera in place, it's time to turn the machine on. The cutter is programmed by a computer to cut the strips into the right size. It moves along really fast. It doesn't look like it's doing anything. But believe it or not, that is cutting the material into smaller pieces. It takes lots and lots of these strips of nylon to make a hot air balloon. But how are they joined together? That happens here, in the sewing room. The sewing machine joins at the edges with thread using a special stitch so the material won't tear. Listen to that sound. It's a bit like a jigsaw. All the pieces have to be sewn together in the right order so that you end up with a perfect-looking balloon. Whilst the balloon is being sewn together, in another part of the factory, the team are working on the basket. The basket is made from willow, which is a type of tree that is light and bends into shapes easily. Look how the wood has been woven. It's like a bigger version of a basket you might have at home. Like a bin or a fruit basket. Have you got a basket at home? But this basket is going to carry something much heavier than fruit. It's amazing to think that this will soon carry people high, high up into the sky. Back upstairs, one of the balloons is ready. But do you know how much material goes into making just one balloon? Wow! Look how much material there is. It's like the biggest superhero cape ever. But to see just how much material there really is, let's fill it with air. Wow, it's enormous. It's so big it won't even fit inside this room. big moment. Let's go inside. Oh, that is amazing. Let's go on and explore around the balloon with my special camera. Look just how huge this balloon is. You can see how all of the pieces of material have been stitched together. There's actually 1,000 meters of material here. If you stretched all of that out, it would be the same as 80 big buses in a row. So we have the balloon and we've got the basket. Now we just need to see it fly. The team are getting a hot air balloon ready to fly. First, they have to unpack all the material and lay it out flat. I'm so excited to see all of this flat material inflate. Next, the team are going to inflate the material with air using a fan so that it blows up. It's a bit like a party balloon. Only a lot bigger. Where'd it go? Wow, this hot air balloon is enormous! This is the gas burner. It makes the air inside the balloon hot, which lifts it off the ground and makes it fly. Look at that, a giant white balloon. What do you think it looks like? I think it looks a bit like a huge egg. Just look at this hot air balloon. Isn't it incredible how a flat piece of material can turn into this? I loved seeing how a hot air balloon was made. What was your favourite bit? Do you remember the name for the part of the hot air balloon that carries people? That's right, it's the basket. Did you like the sound of the sewing machine when it sewed all the material together? And did you see how big the balloon was when it filled up with hot air? It was huge. So now we know how a hot air balloon is made, with lots of material, lots of sewing, and this bendy wood that's used to make the basket. And now we know how a boat works, using a propeller under the water to push the water away. Right, there's only one thing left to do. Fly. Up, up and away! I'll see you next time. Bye! Hello, I'm Maddie, and today I've come to an old-fashioned railway station. It's a museum for trains. Have you ever been on a train? It is a steam train, and it's really noisy. Did you hear that whistle? Look at that steam. There are lots of different types of train. There are steam trains, electric trains, and trains that run on diesel. But a train needs to travel along something. Do you know what that is? That's right, it's train tracks, and we have some of them just here. But how does a train get to the right place and change direction? Do you know how train tracks work? Let's find out. How does it work?
Train track.
You must never go onto or play near a train track. But this track has been closed and all the trains stopped. So I have special permission to go onto the tracks to show you how they work. This part of the track is called a junction, and a junction is where the track splits in two. Can you see there's one going straight up under the bridge and another one going off to the side? To control which route a train will take is this section here called the points. It's a piece of the tracks that can move from one side to another, and they're moved by this. It's called a rod. The rod is connected to this hut, called a signal box. And it's where the signalman controls the tracks. To control the tracks, he moves signals like this, which tell the train driver whether it's safe to go. A bit like traffic lights. But I think we need to take a closer look. Inside the signal box are lots of levers, which pull the rods and wires that run alongside the track. First, the signalman pulls the black lever. This changes the points on the track from one side to the other. Then the blue lever is pulled. This stops the points from changing while the train is moving across. Finally, the red lever is pulled. This lowers the signal, which means the train can travel safely ahead. The train driver sees the lowered signal, so can carry on going, on to a different track. It's really clever, isn't it? I'd love to see a junction working, though, would you? Let's go take a look inside this signal box. Wow! Look at all of the levers! Can you guess how many there are? There are 37 of them. There are red ones, white ones, black ones, and even blue ones. This is Andy, and he's the signalman. And it's Andy's job to pull the right levers at the right time and tell the train drivers when it's safe to go. So how does Andy know which lever to pull when? Up here is a map of the train tracks, and it tells Andy which lever controls which point and signal on the tracks. While Andy changes the levers, he's given me permission to go to the closed part of the track to see how he sets a path for the train. Can you see here? This is the rod, which is connected to the black lever in the signal box. And the rod is connected to the track points. Here, can you see? I wonder what will happen when Andy pulls a lever in the signal box. And because he's so far away, I'm going to talk to Andy using a walkie-talkie radio. OK, here goes. Hello, Andy, this is Maddie. Can you move the points, please? Here we go.
That's no problem. I can move the points now.
Thank you, Andy. Did you see that? That was so exciting. Andy pulled the black lever and the points moved, so the train can get onto the right tracks to go in the right direction. Andy, can you pull the blue lever to lock the points, please?
I can do that now.
Wow, did you see that? Finally, Andy is going to reopen the train tracks so the trains can run again. I need to get safely off the track and onto the footbridge so he can lower the signals. There are two signals, one further up the track and this circular one next to the points. Andy pulls one red lever for each signal. Right, let's see the train drive over the points. Here comes the train! I've put my special camera on the front of the train so we can see exactly how it changes tracks. Did you hear that? Wow! There we go! How brilliant was that? The train moved on to the other track. Hi! That was all so much fun. What was your favourite bit about seeing how train tracks work? Do you remember what you call the section of track that moves? That's right, it's called the points. Did you hear the sound from the train whistle? And did you see both the signals change on the track? Trains can be painted in lots of colours. Do you have a favourite colour train? I think I like this green one best. But did you know that there are different types of paint for different things? You see paint everywhere, on trains, cars, houses, and even furniture. I love painting. It's really fun, isn't it? And I'm going to paint this stool here a lovely blue. But do you know how paint is made? Let's find out. How is it made?
Paint.
To find out how paint's made, I've come here, to a paint factory. Here, they make all kinds of paint in hundreds of different colours. But today, they're making a type of paint that goes on walls, and it's called emulsion. They are making hundreds of pots of emulsion paint here, so they need lots of ingredients. And it all starts by weighing out the dry ingredient on scales. It's a bit like weighing out the ingredients for a cake, only much, much bigger. There are 4 different powders that need to be measured in just the right quantities. These will all help to thicken and whiten paint, because even most coloured paints start out with a white base. Next, all of the wet ingredients are measured in here, and they're put inside this big silver pot. The main wet ingredient is water, and this batch of emulsion needs 350 litres of it. That's enough to fill 4 bathtubs. The big pot is called the disperser, and that is the disperser blade. It gets lowered down into the pot where it will spin round and round to mix all of the wet and dry ingredients together. But first, we have to turn it on. Here it goes. All of the water is swirling round inside, and it's time to add the extra ingredients. But I've got my special camera and a light so that we can see what's happening inside. Ready, Joe? The dry ingredients we measured earlier are poured in through a grate, along with some liquid chemicals, which will help keep the paint fresh. Whoa! It's gloopy, isn't it? Can you hear that? It's noisy, isn't it? That's because the disperser blade is spinning really fast and it makes a lot of noise. A liquid called resin is added, which binds all the ingredients together. And then the disperser blade is left to spin for a long time, over 2 hours. It's time for a cup of tea. That's a lot of spinning and a lot of waiting. But eventually, it's ready. Wow! It looks so different! I love how it's glooping off the disperser blades. Ooh, it's making a pretty pattern here. Looks a bit like a snowflake. The paint is pumped out of the disperser along these pipes. Now the paint's been mixed, it needs to go in a can. And for that, we use a filling machine. Whoa. It's like a paint shower. Wow, did you see that? But there's still one more thing this paint needs, and that's colour. To give our paint some colour, we use this. It's called a tint machine, and inside are different colour liquids. They're called pigments. Look there. There's a green pigment and a yellow pigment. You select the colour that you want, and then you put the can under the machine, and then the pigment squirts from the machine into the paint. Little bit of blue, green, orange, and lots of yellow. But all of these colours need to get mixed together to make one colour. What do you think that's going to be? To find out, the can is put into another machine called a paint shaker. Look at that! The can of paint is being shaken around to mix all of those colours together. It's like it's dancing. Can you shake like a paint can? Wow! And here's our final paint. And it's a lovely lime green colour. I loved seeing how paint was made. What was your favourite bit? Do you remember the name of the big pot the paint was mixed in? That's right, it's called a disperser. Did you hear the noise it made as the blades span really fast? And did you see the shaker machine shaking the paint can? So the next time you see someone painting or you do some yourself, you now know how paint is made. And now you know how train tracks work to move a train from one track to the other. Right, I think it's about time to put this paint to good use, don't you? See you next time. Hello, I'm Maddie, and today I'm at an airport. Have you ever been to an airport? On an aeroplane, we need a ticket. Sometimes we need a passport. But what else might we need? That's right, sometimes we need a suitcase. When we go away, we pack everything we need inside a suitcase. And when we get to the airport, we need to go to a check-in desk. The big bags and suitcases we travel with are called baggage, and we check baggage onto the plane here at the check-in desks. But how does airport baggage work? Let's find out. How does it work?
Airport baggage.
At this airport, thousands of people fly in and out every single day. And on a really busy day, the airport can check in over 3,500 bags and suitcases. And altogether, they weigh more than 40 hippopotamuses. Thank you. This is Emily, and it's Emily's job to check in all the baggage for the flight. First, Emily weighs the suitcase. Hidden underneath the conveyor belt is a set of scales. The scales weigh the suitcase and the weight pops up just here. They work in the same way as kitchen scales you might have used when helping a grown-up to bake a cake. Can you see Emily is attaching a tag to my suitcase? That is the destination tag. And this is the airport code. Every airport around the world has a code that's made up of different letters, and this code matches the airport where the baggage is going. And that means your baggage travels safely with you all the way to your destination. Can you see at the end of this short conveyor belt is a rubber curtain? Well, behind that, there are lots more conveyor belts. But how do the conveyor belts work together to make sure the baggage ends up in the right place? To find out, I think we should take a closer look. When we check in our baggage, it's given a destination tag with a barcode. The travel agent presses a button, and the suitcase moves along a short conveyor belt, called an ejector belt, to a long conveyor belt carrying all the checked-in baggage. There are lots of ejector belts, and at the end of each one is a laser beam. When the suitcase breaks the beam sends a signal to the other ejector belts, telling them the suitcase is there. The ejector belts take it in turn to push the baggage onto the long conveyor belt. The suitcase is then carried into the baggage room and to the baggage dock. The destination tag is checked and the suitcase is put onto a trolley that takes it to the right aeroplane. Wow, that was really interesting. So that we can find out how the suitcase gets from the check-in desk to the baggage dock for real, I've been given special permission to put one of my special cameras on this suitcase. Off it goes behind the curtain. Look, the conveyor belt has stopped my suitcase. It's waiting for the laser to send a message to push my suitcase onto the long conveyor belt. There it goes! Made a clunking sound, didn't it? After a short trip behind the check-in desk, my suitcase reaches another rubber curtain and goes up a ramp. It's like a fairground ride for suitcases. It goes down, round, up, and even spins round. And finally, my suitcase turns one more corner and arrives in the baggage room. Look how big the baggage room is. I wonder where my suitcase is. Oh, there it is. This is Phil, and it's Phil's job to make sure that the baggage in the baggage room goes onto the right flight. Phil checks the destination tags and is looking for the right airport code. When he finds a suitcase with the right airport code, he loads it onto one of these. It's called a dolly. Oh, here's our bag now. Next, a special car called a tug hooks onto the dolly and takes all the baggage to the plane, where they're loaded onto another conveyor belt. There's our suitcase being loaded on now. And look, our suitcase is about to go through a little door into the hold underneath where the passengers sit, ready for the plane to take off. And there you have it. My suitcase has made it from the check-in desk onto the plane, ready for me to meet it on the other side. I love finding out how airport baggage works. What did you like most? Do you remember the name of the tag that tells us where the baggage is going? That's right, it's called the destination tag. Do you remember the sound the bag made when it was pushed onto the big conveyor belt? And did you see my suitcase come down into the baggage room on my special camera? So now you know what happens when you check in baggage at an airport. Bags come in lots of different shapes and sizes, don't they? You might pack a big suitcase like this one if you're going on holiday, or a slightly smaller case if you're going for a shorter trip. Or if you're going on a day out, you might use one of these, a rucksack. Do you know how a rucksack's made? Let's find out. How is it made?
Rucksack.
Rucksacks are made in a place like this. A rucksack factory! Rucksacks come in all sorts of different colours, shapes and sizes. Most rucksacks will have a zip, a handle to hold, 2 straps so we can carry it on our back, and a pocket at the front to put things in. But how are they made? This factory make rucksacks out of a material called nylon. And nylon is great for making rucksacks because it's smooth, it's tough, and very, very strong. Whoa, look at that! But this is only a small piece. Today, they're making rucksacks out of 3 colours: blue, orange, and red. The rucksack starts out in here, the fabric room, with a huge roll of blue fabric. There is loads of it. There's 50 metres of fabric on one roll. That's the same length as an Olympic-sized swimming pool. And just this roll of fabric can make 60 rucksacks. Phew, I think we're there. After the fabric has been rolled out, it gets cut into strips on the cutting table. Next, the big strip of fabric needs to be divided into smaller pieces. Rob's using something called a template, and each shape will make a different part of the rucksack. Do you know what he's using to draw around the templates? That's right, it's chalk. Rob then draws around templates on the red and orange fabrics, ready for everything to be cut out. The shapes are cut out using this machine. It has a round blade that spins really, really fast to cut through the fabric. And to keep Rob nice and safe, he's got to wear one of these. It's a metal glove. How cool is that? The blade is spinning round really, really fast. And look how easily it's cutting through the layers of fabric. Rob can cut out 4 rucksack pieces at the same time. This means the factory can make lots of rucksacks quicker. All of these pieces will make one rucksack. This piece is going to be the front of a strap, and this orange piece is going to make the front pocket. But what do you think happens next? Can you hear that noise? We're in the sewing room, and that's the sound of lots of sewing machines all working at the same time. Over at this machine, Debbie's sewing something onto a piece of fabric. And we need it to open and close the rucksack. Can you guess what it is? That's right, it's a zip. But there's lots more sewing to be done. Next, Rob makes the handle for our rucksack. He makes it using an extra strong piece of nylon called webbing. But to make the webbing even stronger, he uses this machine. Whoa! It's called a bar tacker, and it makes a special type of stitch called a bar tack stitch. Wow, that was really quick. It only takes Rob about 3 seconds to make each handle. To get a closer look, I'm going to film this with my special slow motion camera. It lets us see things that happen really quickly, much slower. Right, camera's set. Let's go, Rob. Okay, let's watch it back so we can see how the machine works. Look, can you see the needle? It's making a tiny zigzag pattern. Now we can see what's happening. It's going back and forth, back and forth. That's brilliant. And by doing so many stitches close together, it makes the handle really strong. How clever is that? There's one more thing our rucksack needs, and that's the straps. Here, Debbie is sewing 2 pieces of red material together. Can you see? Now a piece of foam goes inside so the bag's comfortable to carry on our backs. The straps are nearly ready, but to make everything neat and tidy, Debbie uses a new machine to fold and sew a piece of material along the edge of the strap. It's called binding. Look how quick it is. So we've got the zip, the handle, the straps, the back and front of the bag, which now has a bright orange pocket. Now we just need to stitch everything together. First, the straps are sewn onto the back. Oh, and there's the handle. It's really starting to look like a rucksack now, isn't it? But something's missing. That's right, the sides. That's the part which has the zip. In it goes. And there you have it, a finished rucksack, ready to be used. What did you like most about seeing how a rucksack's made? Do you remember the name of the fabric that makes the bags really strong? That's right, it's called nylon. Did you hear the sound of all the sewing machines? And did you see my special slow motion camera filming the bar tack stitch? It made a zigzag pattern, didn't it? So the next time you use a rucksack and take a look inside to put some things in, you'll know how it was made. And if you go to an airport, you know how the baggage gets from a check-in desk onto a plane. I'll see you next time.
There are lots of things